Hey guys, my name is Billy Wink and I'm the CEO of HV Auto, and today I'm going to talk to you about how you can buy a sports car or an exotic car in 2025. Basically my perspective on what I think is the best way to do it and maximize the car and your value and your experience. So there's a couple types of buyers. There are the people that buy new cars, there are the people that buy a couple years old, and there's people that buy even older than that. Basically, what I was going to do in this video is just explain to you what I feel like is the safest way to buy the car that you want. So we'll use a 992 Turbo S as an example. So that car was produced from 2021 to 2025 with the same options, features, body style, etc. Basically, my goal would be buying a car like that is to be able to buy the car for a good price, be able to enjoy the car for a little bit and not get destroyed on selling the car on depreciation. Obviously, we have some variables like COVID. Now we have tariffs going on, so that can definitely affect the market in different ways and capacities. But generally speaking, in a standard market, I still think these are ways to protect yourself. So one of the things I would consider is option and spec. So if you're looking at a 21 to 25 911 Turbo S, what I would recommend is going with the 21 or 22. Reason being is you can enter the car at a depreciated price point. There's no major adjustments or changes in the car as long as it's the same trim, so people are still desiring that car. If you get it with the right options and right mileage, you can drive it for a little while and either break even, maybe make a little money, or just lose a little money if you work the system correctly. What I would recommend is, not everyone has the tools that I do, but study the market. So you can go online on forums, cars.com, car gurus, and basically look and see what these cars are selling for. And you could use a spreadsheet to basically come up with average prices, average miles, and whatnot. So if you're looking at 2021, I would study that model and I would figure out what are the most desirable options. For me, obviously, you gotta have a good contrasting interior. It can't be just a standard black leather. It needs to have deviated stitching or even offset color. So like, I would get like a chalk 992 Turbo S with like a red interior with the black accents. I think that's great. And then keep in mind the desirable options. You wanna have Burmester, you wanna have like front axle lift, rear axle steering. You can get these cars at a discounted price because they're used. So you can get a car that maybe has a 250 sticker on it, and you're paying the market price where other cars are selling with stickers of 210 for similar prices, because once they're pre-owned, that sticker value wears off significantly. I mean, there is some value in paying a little more for a high sticker car, but when it comes time to selling that car, it's significantly easier, because if you have the same price car as a lower sticker car, your car is going to sell. Making sure you have the right spec. So if if you average up the cars and the market says 15,000 miles across 21 and 25 and the average sales price is like 225, I would try to be in the car around 215 and be within plus or minus, ideally a little bit lower, maybe 12 or 10,000 miles. You want to have a finance plan in place where you're not too much capital in the car, but enough to kind of keep your principal down. So if you sell the car and you take a little bit of a loss, you can just get out of it and get the payoff for the vehicle. Let's say you finance 200,000 on the car and put 25 down with your taxes and everything out the door. You're in this car at 225, you purchased it at 215, and you drive it for 12 months and maybe you lose 2 or 3 grand because you bought the car with 10,000 miles and you sell it around 15,000 miles. You bought the right price point and you're going to be able to get a little bit more of a premium price. Another thing is, when you're selling the car, in most cases, you're going to get more money if you consign the vehicle. It is a longer process, and for some of these people, their primary source of income, obviously not flipping cars, so trade does get you out quicker and it does save you on taxes. So that's one thing to consider as well. But just making sure the car, you buy at the right price, get the right miles. When you're having that car and you're planning your exit, knowing what exit strategy makes sense. If you're okay with just driving the car for a little bit and losing a little bit of money, just trade it and be done with it. Some people, it's more about the experience. They don't mind paying $5 to $10 or even $20,000 a year to enjoy a cool car. Going back to the first thing is options. Know your options. When you're buying this car, make sure you know your options and make sure you do your homework, because if the car's not optioned right, it's very difficult selling it. For instance, brown used to be a high dollar interior option, but it was a terrible car for us to sell. But there are some cases with a brown interior and the right exterior, you can get top dollar for the car. Another thing is trying to make sure the car is up to date on the service. When you purchase a car, check the Carfax, make sure all the service is up to date. On these cars, service is very simple if you're buying a Porsche because, you know, it's very routine stuff, filters, fluids, plugs, etc. So just making sure those things are up to date certainly help with the resale value. A thing to consider sourcing a car too, with the internet nowadays, you can basically shop anywhere you want. So I would recommend, you know, if I'm buying a car, I'm looking everywhere when I'm buying vehicles for the dealership. I'm looking in California, everywhere, because I don't mind buying a car in Texas or California if it's got the right spec and options. So I would definitely not just look in your, you know, the radius of your zip code of like 100 miles, I'd look nationwide because sometimes you can get a better deal too. Some markets have better prices depending on the time of the year. And then lastly, how are you gonna pay for it? I would recommend financing in most cases. I know a lot of people say cash is king, but usually these are just toys. So, you know, obviously I'm not a financial advisor, but you know, if you have your finances in place, you know, why tie up $250,000 in a car when you can probably make a lot more money doing what put you in the position to be able to afford the car? In most cases, I would finance. Now, there are certain exceptions, you know, like I have some toys. I have like a 993 Turbo, 997. It's way more difficult to finance those, so you just pay cash for those and be done with it. But there are, you know, if you're buying a car to only keep for 6 months to a year, and it's not something like a forever car, so to speak, just finance the car, you know, shop your rates around, get a good interest rate, and just let your money do work for you versus tying up a depreciating asset or an asset that breaks even at best. So those are 5 things I would consider if I'm buying a car in 2025. Trying to keep just a quick, simple, and easy checklist for you guys to follow. And if you have any more questions, please comment below. And I hope you enjoyed our content. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.